So Melissa's got a fascinating story which she'll share with you. But she is based in Port Elizabeth. And Melissa, something interesting is I was looking at her business a couple of weeks ago, and I think April was probably the most uncertain month that we've had. We were in the middle of our very strict lockdown, yet her business grew by 33% over her best previous month, which I just think is incredible. And she is growing a team of families that are looking for a way that will help them get more out of their life. And so, Melissa, welcome to the call. Take it away.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. What a privilege to be able to share this morning. So I got started in the business many years ago. I was working, as Drew said, as a secretary for a firm of chartered accountants. But I was also, my husband and I had a catering business at a flea market on the weekends. So would work from Monday to Friday. Thursday evening, though, we would start to prepare for Saturday. We would work Saturday. Sunday was cleanup day and back to work on Monday. We were young. I was only about 25 at the time. And I think back to it, we were working so hard, but yet we didn't have any spare cash. And when I was thinking about it, I thought, we were working so hard because we had dreams. And we just knew that there was just more out there for us. And we wanted to achieve so much more than what our 8-to-5 jobs allowed us to do. We wanted to just get rid of the restrictions of adult life. I had grown up, not really a huge dreamer, but grown up, I would say, presuming how life was going to be. And the way I presumed life was going to be was I was going to have horses. I always had, and so that was just going to carry on. I didn't have a car at the time. I was going to just have the ability to have the lifestyle that I wanted. I presumed that I would live in a small holding and we would just have freedom and just not the stress that adult life was bringing with it. And so it was at that time, I remember I was sitting the one day looking out of the window, beautiful big office, lovely gardens. And I just thought, if I leave here, actually they'll just replace me. I just wanted to do something that I would feel that I was making an impact. And I just realized that this was not the place for me. And it's just, I'm always so blown away to this day that it was at that time that God brought this business across my path. And I had a phone call inviting me to have a look at a business which I knew very little about. So I got excited. I had an incredible upline, got excited at the very beginning, got excited about the prospects and where I could go. But it didn't come without its challenges. I would say my first and most significant challenge was, we know that we have to get out of our comfort zone. I'm naturally an introvert. I can go through the day without talking to anyone. Nowadays, I love it. But at that time, I would happily just not talk to anyone and just stick to myself. And so when I went home and told my husband what I was going to do, he said, but you're not even really that keen on people. You didn't realize you're going to have to get out and talk to people. So that was my first challenge. And then the other thing was at the very beginning, I was young and I had the feeling that I was now needing to offer this business to people, but yet I hadn't even achieved in it myself. I felt like I didn't have credibility to be able to say to people, look, this is what I'm doing, you must do it. And so that was something that I had to work through for myself. The other thing was people were the usual, not so much these days, but in those days it was the network marketing. Oh, you're doing that network marketing thing. Oh, well, that won't work. I realized that I needed to feed myself with network marketing positivity from the beginning. And I needed to work on myself and my personal development from the very beginning in order to keep myself going. My challenge was that I wanted to make those closest to me proud of me, and I wanted to make those that were skeptical, I wanted to show them. And the other thing was also I was at that stage in my life where our friends were on that whole corporate, they were on their corporate journey of having good jobs, buying nice cars, and doing what was the conventional expected of people. And here I was getting involved with a business that was seen as an older ladies' tea party kind of thing. And so those were the challenges. They were challenges and they were there, but I didn't allow them to stop me because I had my dreams and I knew that I needed to commit to my dreams. Some would say sacrifice. I will without a doubt say commitment. I had to commit to my future. And so I needed to do what it took. I never ever once have doubted the network marketing journey. I've never ever doubted the business, but I've needed to commit to doing things that other people were not willing to do. Things including events. At that time, we had weekly Monday evening training. Bearing in mind we only had one car at the time, so that was always a little bit of relationship issues because I had to make sure my husband was back from work and he couldn't do anything else because I needed the car. Tuesday evenings, we lived in Pietermaritzburg at the time. I had committed to starting a team down in Hillcrest, so I would drive my 45 minutes no matter what. Hail, storms, snow, thick mist, whatever it took, I would drive down there, finding the fuel money for that every week. But I knew that this is what I needed to do. I also needed to commit to be positive all the time. So I would come back and we would have had maybe one guest, maybe no guests, but I would come home and tell my husband that it had been fantastic. And because it had, I knew that this was every step further in my journey. Conferences, we had 4 conferences a year that we had to go to, and I'm forever thankful for those Bloom conferences with the Eagle team. I remember the one conference was over the same weekend as a friend, very good friend's wedding, who I'd grown up with, and I said to her, sorry, I can't go to the wedding, I've got a conference. And to this day, we're still friends and fantastic, but that was a commitment that I chose. I remember the other time was a Saturday afternoon. We had a training, all distributor training, and it was another friend's wedding. My husband he was best man, and I said, sorry, I can't come. I've got a business meeting this afternoon. So it was that kind of commitment. I also remember when we had our Africa convention, the one year it was in Durban, and my middle child she was about 6 to 8 weeks old at that time. And it was convention, so I needed to go. And so what did I do? I piled her in the car with Alvina, our much loved nanny. And Mimi and I went down with Sky in the back of the car. Friday night, she and Sky sat at the back, and I would pop out to breastfeed her when needed and go back into the conference. I think we got back at about 11:30 or 12 that night. The next morning, we were in the car again, back down to Durban for the convention. And that was the level of commitment. If I look back now, we've moved provinces, we're now in Port Elizabeth. And so I needed to commit to keep on building my business. So moving down here meant cold calling people, going out and starting again with my team here. But the benefits and everything is just far outweighed any sort of challenges that it would have been at the time. Leadership school, I had the privilege with the company of going to beautiful 5-star leadership school. But my daughter, I had to miss her birthday, so we just postponed it a day. So it was that level of commitment. When you believe in your dream so much, it doesn't matter what it takes. You will do what it takes. And I committed to never, ever being negative and never, ever questioning this NeoLife business, ever. No matter the challenges, I knew that this was my vehicle. And that has led to our success so far. My 3 children have had mom at home every step of the way. I've had the privilege of being with them, seeing their first step, first tooth coming out, first words, first everything. I've been able to be with them. And my heart and my passion is for, if you're sitting today watching this, just know that you can do it for you too. Anyone that's questioning, is there better for me? Is there better stuff out there? Can I do it? You can, just with commitment. And it's something that no one can ever take away our family, the fact that they've had mom and wife there every single step of the way. We now live on the most beautiful small holding. I get goosebumps when I talk about this. A few minutes up the road from the beach, we have horses. My son has chickens and pigs and all sorts of things. My husband has the most exquisite, enormous vegetable garden, which we have the privilege of eating out of. And we're living the lifestyle through this NeoLife business predominantly that we have dreamt about over the years. We had an event 4 years ago. Many of us, we all have challenges in our life, and this was one of those major challenges where you feel like the world is just falling around your shoulders and you wake up in the morning and think, how are we going to carry on? But you know what? We got through that time thanks to our NeoLife business, thanks to the training that was so deeply ingrained in us. Just those golden threads of training that just fit into your tapestry of life and just make you who you are, that through that, my husband and I would walk. We would go walking in the mornings, and we would actually talk about how excited we were about the future, about where we were headed, never mind the circumstances that we were in. And I know that there's a lot of people at the moment that feel like that also, that possibly feel like everything is crumbling around them. But this NeoLife business is something that can just give you the hope, and it can and will, if you allow it, take you to those dreams. Travel. We've had the incredible privilege of traveling in style and in luxury, thanks to NeoLife, to places around the world that we never would have if it wasn't for this opportunity. On Monday, I opened my diary and there it said Prague. And I thought, oh, Prague, we should be there, but it doesn't matter. We'll get there another time. But places like that, and you know what? It's become the norm. It's become something that we now expect, to just be traveling to all these exotic, beautiful places. Hope, excitement, a family that dreams, children that have a NeoLife mindset. You know, my son is 17, and the thing that he can't wait about until he turns 18 is that he can become a NeoLife distributor. And to me, that is just incredible. You know, we're able to, as a family, just dream together, be excited. It doesn't matter what we're going through. It doesn't matter. We're so excited about the future. And most important of all, and I just think that this is just such a blessing and a privilege, we are able to be the shining light of hope to others, thanks to NeoLife. And it is thanks to NeoLife and thanks to this business. And then, after I've said all this, I want to just say that I know that we're just beginning our journey. Thanks very much.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Melissa. Isn't that amazing? And as soon as you started talking about travel, I got the exact same reminder on my phone. This week, the four of us should have been together in Prague with 500 other NeoLife distributors. But because of the travel ban, obviously that's not going to happen right now, but we will be doing it in the next however many months, whatever it takes. But that's part of the journey. And there's some people listening to that amazing story. Some people would be listening to that saying that, Melissa, you must be crazy for making those kind of sacrifices. You're turning down your friend's wedding. And sometimes it does sound crazy. But what that tells us is that there is a price to pay for success. Success is not free. There is a price to pay. And to succeed, sometimes you've got to be willing to do things that you don't feel like doing. Sometimes you've got to be willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do. That is why some people succeed and some people don't. And sometimes we have to resist that urge to resist the urge to accept or use those excuses that life hands to us, those excuses that stop us from achieving our full potential and what we truly are capable of. So, Melissa, thank you so much. That was amazing.